Ryan Reynolds here for, I guess, my 100th Mint commercial. No, don't. No. I mean, honestly, when I started this, I thought I only have to do like 4 of these. I mean, it's unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month. How are there still people paying 2 or 3 times that much? I'm sorry, I shouldn't be victim blaming here. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save. Whenever you're ready.
$45 upfront payment equivalent to $15 per month. New customers on first 3-month plan only. Taxes and fees extra. Speed slower above 40 gigabytes. See details.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay, things people love.
Good afternoon, guys, and welcome to the podcast. I've got Robert Herbst here from Canada, and he is a founder, executive coach, and author, and he teaches clients transforming sales one human interaction at a time. I'm really happy to have him on, and bring him on. So, Rob, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Chris.
Yeah, briefly introduce yourself, and I'm excited to dive into the conversation with the guests.
Sure. Briefly, I've run a consulting company for the last 34 years in basically Salesforce transformation. We've worked with some pretty large companies like Cargill, Corteva, Pioneer Hybrid, working with their sales forces across North America, a little bit overseas. And that has taken us into some areas of executive development as well, for leaders to understand how to transform their cultures and create a structure that's supportive of their leaders, their managers, and their salespeople to become successful.
Interesting. And what's interesting is you have this kind of sales, and one thing is there's this stigma of sleazy sales, and you escape that. How do you do that?
Yeah, that's been an ongoing disturbing phenomena. So I think we're at a point now. I'll give you some interesting statistics. We have some customers that have had to do a lot of customer profiling to understand how customers are buying these days. And with the onset of this new information age and the bombardment of information that we're getting, and chatbots and now AI trying to sell people, some of the stats are showing that about 40% of salespeople are no longer needed. And that's because customers are being educated on how to make their own decisions. The interesting part is there's about 50% of salespeople that are truly good problem finders and problem solvers. We call them sales practitioners, right? They are dedicated to helping a customer to find and solve a problem. So that is how we've quite simply just said, let's just focus on doing a very pointed and very process-oriented job for customers of finding, establishing, verifying, understanding a problem, the cost of the problem, producing evidence for that, and then designing a solution for that. So that's obviously for custom and complex products and services. So that's how we've approached putting in integrity and meaning into the profession, and for a salesperson to feel comfortable introducing themselves into a customer situation and understanding their circumstances, and then progressing the sales cycle from there. So that has been very refreshing. The customers that are the salespeople we train are receptive to that. So I hope I'm answering your question, but that's how we're approaching the stigma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sales. Interesting. The other question is, that was interesting, that statistic that 40% of sales is no longer needed. So what are you doing to future-proof sales careers?
We focus on the top half, right? Like for the last several decades, the best salespeople are very welcome. They're to the boardroom table. We welcome a strong salesperson that does a good job of very simply focusing on finding and fixing a problem. If they do that, they're worth their weight in gold, because if they found a problem and the cost of the problem is bigger than the cost of the solution, that's a good decision. It helps a customer to make a better decision they would otherwise make on their own. The need for a straight transaction commodity sell is really gone. That's B2B sales that we concentrate on. Consumer sales is different. Look what's happening to the automotive industry, right? You buy a Tesla online, never talk to anybody. And we're glad for that because we don't need to. We can inform ourselves and buy ourselves. But in a complex situation, in a complex sale and high technology products that require heavy learning, there's something we call level one value. And level one value is helping a customer to think and helping them to make a decision. And I don't know about you, but I need all the help I can get. I have to make a complex decision. There's the decisions I like and know how to make, but mostly the decisions I need to make, I can't make on my own.
Mm. Yeah, interesting.
And I don't want to.
Yeah. Yeah. Next question I have for you is you talk about sales starting from within. Elaborate on that.
I think we're in a point in time here where there's this kind of existential subconscious thing going on here. We have so much automation. And again, I'll go back to AI. The big question is how many of our jobs is AI going to take over? How many of our jobs is automation going to take over? The answer is a lot. So where's that going to leave people? They're going to need to find vocations that have meaning. So from a sales perspective, a sales career, which is what we focus on, has very deep meaning. The salespeople that do an incredibly good job for customers, helping them think, help them make decisions, help them find problems, help them fix problems, that is a very meaningful career. So hence, that starts from the inside. Why are you doing this? What's your role? How do you declare your role? If you're just exchanging time for money, that's going to get replaced. And that's for any vocation. Our vantage point is sales, and sales is about truly becoming obsessed with customer circumstances, understanding customer circumstances, dissecting customer circumstances, dissecting customer problems. It's very simple, but the best of sales forces and sales companies and salespeople have been doing that for years. Unfortunately, there's just too many that are dropping off and have to learn this in a more purified way.
Mm. Yeah. Next question is, which was really interesting, is sales is the most honest place you can be. How does that apply to your work?
Yeah, I would answer that in two ways, Chris. Number one, obviously, if you lie and cheat and steal, those are the obvious things that you can't do. So that's an easy part of the answer. The second part of the answer is, again, if you're finding a problem, you have to produce evidence. Evidence is produced much like the scientific process. It has to hold up to scrutiny. It has to hold up to peer review. It has to be objective. It has to be factual. Process for finding and establishing a customer problem within their circumstances, it has to take a methodology, and the methodology has to be literally customized to every customer in order to produce honest information. So that's why I say sales is the most honest place you're ever going to be. Because one, obviously you can't lie, cheat, or steal. That's what's so disturbing. It's just, we're so done with this stigma that you were talking about before. But second of all, to produce an honest diagnosis, a needs assessment, that has to be done in a very regimented way, in a very high integrity way that's acceptable and fully understood by the customer before you even start.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Next question I have for you is, so for individuals wanting to start a career in sales, what industries are going to be the most impactful, and how does AI play into it?
Yeah, I wish I had an easy answer. I think we're all in this world where the new budding technologies that revolve very much around AI and how our computer is going to think for us. New softwares for sure are going to be complicated, complex. That's going to require a salesperson. We've done a lot of work in the agriculture space, a lot of work in the last 20 years with agriculture companies. There's so much technology that has come on to the farm and those serving farms. That area has really increased. So what was traditionally sold as commodities, seed and fertilizer and chemicals, Those are being more bought online. But a farm, for example, has combines and tractors and 4x4s that have auto steer, that have remote sensors that are monitored by remote groups, where a farmer is basically informed that they're driving too fast, or the machine is actually driving itself. The software, the technology that has to be sold into that has to be sold to a farmer or farm corporations. So that's an example of one industry, but how many of those industries are going to get disrupted in that way, in the way you and I use a piece of technology? Medical supply is huge, right? Medical supply, all the diagnostic equipment that's now going into hospitals, and how are those pieces of equipment and all the infrastructure going to be redesigned to accommodate all that new technology? I suspect the medical industry is going to continue to get more need for higher proficiency salespeople. You keep on going down the line that way. Technology is infiltrating any company who's trying to do things quicker, better, faster, communicate better.
Yeah. Interesting. To follow up this, how can people find you and follow you and reach out to you and learn more about the sales, get better at sales, honest sales, and check out your work?
Yeah, I have two companies now, and we've just started this overhaul into the future. The two companies I have now, one is Progressive Achievement Associates Limited, PAA Limited. I can go to the website there and check out how we transform cultures, PAALTD.com, and then ThriveCore.Inc.com is the executive development. The new venture that we're going into, and we've been building out over the last couple of years, is just launching. So we've got a couple of books coming out. One is called Cheating Death, and it's for salespeople and describes this. And then we have another one that's a transformation manual for leaders. And then we have online courses that are just about to start. I've got a YouTube following that's beginning. If you go to my LinkedIn page, it'll direct you to what's just launching now as we speak.
Yeah.
I don't know if that helps. I don't know if that helps viewers. Just keep watching. We're continuing the outreach for into the marketplace.
Yeah. Excellent. Thanks so much for coming on, and I really enjoyed talking with you, and keep up the great work.
Thanks, Chris. Appreciate you having me on. Take care.